Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be a match between Rock and Rumble, part of the OSL tiebreakers, the round of 16 tiebreakers. And yeah, we didn't get these out very quickly. Rumble's going to be starting in red about the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock position. We have 6 o'clock position. We have Rock. There's a protected secondary that's easy to take on this map. This is Demon's Forest. It's going to be the last we're seeing of it, and honestly, I'm kind of glad. It looks like it was a little, I'm not going to say totally favoritistic towards Zerg. There's trees across the middle, and they cause mischances on attacks. This really kind of favors Zerglings, in my opinion. 3 o'clock position, there's another expansion. That's the third option spawn. Looks like that Overlord from Rumble is headed out to that direction really fast. Go to sc2gg.com. I'm going to kind of sing the praises of unsung heroes really fast. For some reason, couldn't spit that out. Radivil and Kurogane, those guys are just awesome. I cannot sing their praises high enough. They do all the background work on SC2GG. Kurogane does a lot of programming. Radivil does a bunch of other stuff. Does a lot of advertising, things like that. Rock, interestingly enough, not going for. Looks like he's putting down the pylon. We'll see if he decides to put a forge down. Really, because that secondary is protected, he doesn't have to do. To do kind of that early expansion build, he doesn't have to go forge necessarily. We'll see. Anyway, looks like the Rumble's in fact scouting the wrong direction with that initial Overlord. He'll be able to come across Rock's base. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind a map that had a similar setup, but without the trees in the middle to create the glitches. Looks like he's going gateway first. Gonna set up that probe. He is in fact scouting the right direction. But yeah, once again, Radivil, Kurogane, everybody there at SC2GG that's on staff and working. I don't think I missed anyone. You guys are awesome. That's all I gotta say. Appreciate you guys. Heart. Also check, what else am I missing? Go check out mymym.com, GoSuGamers.net, they're great too. Yeah, across the board. And also wanted to make a quick correction on, I only got one replay on the Starfeeder tournament. 12 hatch, by the way, from Rumble there. Interesting choice. Instead of going for 9 pool, Zergling, something like that. A simulator going down. So Rock deciding to tech up at this point. Not going to go for that second expansion, interestingly enough. Now a spawning pool going down for Rumble. But yeah, on the last Media versus, who was it? Media versus Light during the WG, for WG Tour during the Starfeeder tournament. The only replay I got was of WG Tour taking the match, so Xerus and Live to Win, or Live to Win, I guess Live to Win, taking the 2v2 game, but it turns out Media actually ended up winning out overall. Right there, that drone able to scout through. Looks like Rock's going to send up harassment Zealot here. Still harassing with that probe actually pretty decently. But yeah, they ended up winning, I guess, all the rest of the games, but that was the replay I got, probably because it was the most interesting one, and definitely interesting seeing the double wraith. And now trying to get a colony down, because he's not going to have that spawning pool down for a bit, and that Zealot is going to end up in his base. He saw that Zealot coming. Now starting to get his spawning pool down. Sorry, upgrading to Sun Colony, trying to get a couple Zerglings produced so he can deal with this Zealot. Trying to pull the drones back, and we'll see how many drones this Zealot can kill in the meantime before it gets kicked out of the base. Didn't look like it. Good micromanagement on Rumble's part, but he is going to have to. That is going to force the Sun Colony to be built, which is not something obviously kind of interesting. And wow, Rock, instead of going for an early nexus, just went straight kind of one base Corsair build, so one base tech build. Really unusual play from him. So not standard Protoss versus Zerg. Maybe it's standard on this map, just because again I haven't seen a lot of play on this map. That is going to get, looks like it's going to get spotted out though by that Overlord. It's seeing that there's not a second gateway down. I'm not sure if it went across the secondary as well. Looks like it did go across the secondary, so we didn't see the second base. Single Zealot blocking the ramp, and yeah, now they're producing Corsairs, so going to get Corsairs out pretty quickly. I'm not sure if Rumble's going to have anything to deal with it, getting a second hatchery down, now getting the gas down. So those Overlords, let's see if he can get the Overlords out far enough across the base, or across the map I should say, to kind of protect them, because in the meantime he's not going to have anything for quite some time to deal with this. A single Dragoon being produced in the meantime, probably to harass a little bit across the edge. Now it looks like Rock is going for his second expansion. While an interesting maneuver on his part. I don't know if we'll see if this pays out in the long term for him, but I'm surprised he decided to opt for that. Second hatchery down, we'll see if he decides. So 3 hatcheries. So 3 hatchery build, we'll see if we're going to see 3 hatchery And yeah, that first Corsair out, able to take out that first Overlord. And first of all, Rock is going to get all the information he wants for quite some time. Going to see that 3 hatchery build. And second of all, yeah, he's just going to have free reign on Rumble's supply for quite some time. Rumble trying to get those Overlords, as you can see, trying to get him back. Getting a Hydralisk Den up, because, yeah, obviously way far away from Lair, needs to get the Hydralisk Den up. So Rock kind of I'm not going to say dominating as far as forcing the way the game's being played, but definitely kind of knows that Rumble's forced to kind of go Hydralisk at this point. We'll see if that off that 3 hatchery Hydralisk build, how Rumble will do. We've seen Yellow actually be very successful, and also Luxury be successful. I guess his twin be successful in that kind of 3 hatchery build, but usually what they did is they got a 4th hatchery and additional gas down, and then kind of went for a contain, and he's going to be producing Overlords for quite some time though. Looks like he's got a single, looks like 2 Hydralisks out. I'm surprised he even got those out, considering, let's see, he's going to be able to take out that last, with a little bit of micromanagement, guiding that last, wow, how did that Corsair not take that Overlord out? Now brings it back, takes out that last Overlord, so a little bit of supply damage there. Upgrading to Hive, or I'm sorry, upgrading to Lair, so maybe thinking about trying to contain Rock at this point. Corsair, but Rock getting all the information he needs. He sees that Lair upgrading, he sees the Hydralisks, sees the Hydralisk Den, sees that there's that 3 base build, and my guess is he's going to press out right now and make sure he's got that 3rd expansion secured. Getting a Forge down actually in Robotics facility as well. And we'll see if he goes Reaver. A lot of people say that Rock is a one-trick pony, that essentially what he does every single time is go straight to Reaver, but my guess is he's probably actually just getting that for observers. Something going down in the background there that might be to defend against drop again. Single cannon going down the front, and I think he's the Forge and the cannon are to deal with more the kind of a lurker. He doesn't want to get contained. He doesn't want lurkers to kind of stream across his base. Looks like a Spire going up actually in the back corner, and we'll see if Rock continues to pump the Corsairs in the meantime, or if there's just going to be a couple Scourges out, and that's basically all Rumble wants out of that Spire. Really, I like getting that Spire up because there's a lot of things you can do with Zerg, obviously, but when you have all your units out that can keep your opponent unbalanced, he doesn't know exactly what you're going to do. You can shift between the two, because Mutiling versus Lurker Hydra, or even Lurkerling or Hydraling, I mean, it's just 3 completely different. It's just tactically. Anyway, you guys catch what I'm saying. That Sutton Colony doing a little bit of, and wow, Corsairs managed to sneak through and get a few hits off on those Overlords. Rock's still getting information. But yeah, we'll see how the game goes from this point. It doesn't look like looks like Rumble is not pushing out of his base. We haven't seen him. My guess is he is going to go for Mutalisk at this point. Looks like level 1 weapons being upgraded there on the Cybernetics core. Reaver out, so yeah, in fact, going for a Reaver. And again, Rock really favors Reavers. We'll see if he gets a drop shuttle out as well. The secondary would be very vulnerable against drop shuttles. Looks like a cannon in the back door just to make sure that he doesn't get dropped. Preventing, a little bit worried about that, or maybe if the lurkers go all the way through. A couple Scourges being produced, and if those are micro well, that might be able. And 2 evolution chambers as well as a Queen's Nest. Interesting. So he's going to upgrade to Hive without getting a 4th hatchery and off only 2 gas. And I'm not sure that that's going to be the best maneuver there. Scourge is going to run in, and we'll see. And the Scourges, first of all, they're going to get a spot off. They're going to see that Reaver up. They're going to see basically all of Rock's tech. So Rumble actually using and didn't even lose a Scourge there. Now teching up, but really I'm not sure that he can go Hive. He needs to push out now if he's going to do that and take another expansion, and I'm not sure. And Rock, at this point, I think he can do it, because it doesn't look like Rock has basically gone on the defensive. He's only got those 2 Reavers, 2 Zealots, and a Dragoon out. Let's see, yeah, now getting actually a dropship as well, and a couple Corsair, and I think he will be safe. Well, if he gets that dropship out, it's going to be difficult to defend it, simply because Rock is going to have the mobility advantage. He's going to be able, with those Corsairs, to basically go wherever he wants. Let's see if he can take out the X factor is those Scourges. Is if he can take those Scourges down and open up kind of that dropship's mobility, not worry as much about that dropship out in the field, and kind of defend it with those Corsairs, then it'll work. And I just assume he's doing this. I can't even tell in this video if that robotics facility is active. I'm going to assume so. Unfortunately, it looks like a creep colony is going down. My guess is that creep colony is going to be turning quickly into a Sutton colony, so that's going to defend the secondary well enough. Now taking 3rd expansion as he's taking to Hive, and actually it's not a bad maneuver on this map, considering, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's so gas heavy, and actually it's within a small area that it's decently easy to defend for Rumble, because he can bring his units kind of out to the middle and defend basically 4 or 5 expansions all in the same kind of arena. Now pushing out, he's got a Queen out. Interesting, a Queen with Hydralisks and a large grouping of Overlords. I guess the Overlords, maybe he's thinking about drop, but I think that's just to deal with the Dark Templar and to kind of protect them as he goes. Corsair's pushing up, and if he manages, my guess is the Queen's actually for the Corsairs to ensnare them, to slow them down so they can't get a Hydralisk range, and as well as the Scourges, if there's any Scourges left in the field out, can basically essentially deal with them. We'll see a couple Zerglings going across the field. He's making sure that Rock hasn't expanded yet. Rock is basically being